In this video, we're going to go over how to create these grooves here with our brush as well as the orbs. So the grooves first. Now, this is the longest part of the checkpoint. For me, I think it should be the most fun as well. Takes the most amount of kind of creative thought, and I think the process is just fun. So try to take your time with it. You don't have to create, as many as I did here. Create the more. It looks better with more than just 2 or 3, obviously. But it's not something you have to go crazy about. Okay, so create 2 layers. 1, 2. First one is going to be black. 1. And darker black. And we'll do that. We'll work here on, this middle one first. I'm just going to do this middle one and then end the video because it's going to be the same process. You'll do the same thing for down here and then the same thing for the sides of the face as well. And so you're going to get black, obviously. And we're going to use our polygonal lasso tool for this. We're going to make some straight edges. And you're going to want to set your brush. It's going to be about, yay big. And you want it to be a soft brush, 0%. And you're going to set the flow to 2. And we're going to use 2%. So to help you guys here, this first one, I'm going to put this black. I'm going to add 2%. And the second one is going to be darker. We're going to go over it again. And we're doing it in 2 phases because if I don't like the darker area, I can just come back to this black and I can erase the darker areas without erasing the softer black areas. That way I have that functionality to work with. So this one, this black, I think I'm going to set it to probably 4% flow. So there we go. So lasso tool. And you kind of have to think about this, the way it would look if you were looking at this as a jagged-like surface, and use these areas to help you. You don't have to create, something at each one of these points. But like here's a good dip, right? So maybe this is an area where it kind of falls down and in and then kind of comes back up. So I'm going to create a line here and then bring it right there. So again, I'm using the idea of perspective, right? In many of these areas, it goes back this way and gets smaller and then widens as I come this way. I'm going to get my black. And this is just a first pass through of black. That's why I have it at 2%. I'm not getting it really dark yet. All right, I'm just getting the idea of the black here. So first, is it even painting? Let's figure that out. Should be painting at 2%. So, boy, what's happening? Oh, duh. We need these on top of our group. So I need to go back. There we go. I'm going to erase this real quick. So make sure you're on top of your the colored group because we're doing shadows on that. Okay, so I got my selection there, and my first pass I want it to be at 2%, and I'm not maybe 1%. That's still a little bit too much. So 1%. I'll make my brush a little bit bigger, and I'm not clicking and holding my click and painting over. I'm kind of just doing, it's almost like painting in a little bit. I'm doing like these sweeps. Okay, so that's enough for there. I can come back up to my second darker black, and it's actually doing pretty good here. I'm going to keep it at 1% and just keep, it's going to be darker in the back, right back here. And I want it kind of the edges to be dark because I have this idea of it's like it's dipping in here. So that means the top should be dark, and then this edge right up here should be dark as well, and it should be kind of lighter right in there. All right, so now I can hit Command D. We can kind of see what that looks like. Yeah, that's working. Let's keep going. Let's create maybe a large one here. I'll make it come to a point. Or no, we'll do another one. Maybe right there. Come down to my 2% black. Paint it in. Come up to my darker. And make it darker. Alright, set. Oops, there we go. Command D. I think I'll create another one right here. Kind of goes right there. There we go. Looks like I need to get. We can fix that if we don't come quite to the edge. That'll be an easy thing to fix. All right, let's keep going. Let's do definitely one here. Come up to my darker area and make my darker strokes. All right. I think we'll create another one. Let's see where's some good spots here. Let's do one here. And then we'll do one here. Let's do it kind of like it, maybe it comes down here. Oh. Make this side darker. And then go ahead and come down here to my blue here. Go ahead and delete that. Let's fix this area here. So I'm just deleting that blue where it's kind of not showing quite, or it's going off, I should say. Trying to get that to look a little bit better there. Okay. Let's keep going here with our grooves and add some more.
This is my coffee shop. And that's me in my custom shirt from Custom Ink.
One there. So you gotta have to keep in mind where the darkest areas are gonna be, and you kind of have to think about the way the form, a little bit about the form of what it is you're doing, so where those shadows would be. I'm just gonna use my eraser for back here, just erase this part of the blue a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of your basic general idea. I think I would probably go through here. There's a few I don't really like. I think I would redo them, repaint them so they'd look a little bit better. But everything falls more into place once you put more of your shadows in. So the final, another thing you want to do after you've made all of your grooves like this is to do how the shadow would be as this part of the sculpture is, hanging over it. So go ahead and create a new layer. Do this all shadows. And I need to get a selection of this blue. So come down to where that blue is, Command, click it. Come back up to all shadows and get a rather large brush, set at 1% flow, and put that shadow in there too. There we go. Command D. And you can come back in here, and rework this until you get, so like right here, right? I think I want it to kind of fall into right there. So I'm going to cut this out. So that out of the shadows, Command D there, or just delete, sorry. Come up to the black, delete, and I also want to come to this part of my shape and delete right there as well. So I kind of have this, chasm or cutout there. And there we are. There's the first one. And then I would go through and I would do something similar, just as we did here. All right, I think I did a better job this first go around. I was thinking about it a little bit more. But same idea, right? You're using your polygonal lasso tool. You're just, right here, you just need to go, a little bit past this edge. Do that. And then do your shadow work. Create those grooves. And then do the larger shadow work. Get a command select just that big purple shape and throw a larger shadow down on it. Okay, so next part, let's do our orbs next. So I can select these, put them in a group called shadows. Now the orbs, they need to be on top of this but behind, because I want to put one like right here. So just create a new layer right here. And we're just going to do this, you can just do this with your brush tool. So if you get your brush tool, make it a hard brush, set the flow to 100%, create the size of the circle you want. So let's right there, get the color that you want. Let's do hot pink, and then just click once. So there's one circle, and we'll do our effect here. So I'll name this sphere. We'll create more, but let's get this one looking the way we want it to look. So outer glow first, and we want it to be the same color. So just come over to here and click it once you've clicked into your color picker. And mess with the size. The spread is how far out it's going. And let's bring the opacity up so we can see everything first. And then the size is how much glow is happening. So you want pretty good size to it. And then choose the correct contour. The contour, changes it. So maybe you think you like that effect of it. Maybe you like that effect. I want it to be more like a glowing orb. So I'm going to choose this first straight one there. And then we're going to go to drop shadow. Bring the opacity up on that. Choose the same color. And then the distance, we want it kind of behind it. Right behind it, and then you can control the size of it as well. And this adds, as well as the spread, this just adds a little bit more of a glow feature. Then we can do an inner glow, and let's choose, let's see what yellow looks like. There we go. It's set to linear light. If we set it to normal, it should look normal. Increase the opacity of it. So maybe not. Let's try white. That'll probably look the best. Or even black, maybe. And then increase the size. You can mess around with the choke of it. And then lower the opacity. I think I will go with white. Just a slight inner glow there. And a different quality to it. There we go. That's looking better right there. All right, you can see how much the contour matters. All right, so I think we got the glow that I'm going for there. I can hit OK. I'll create a new layer here, and on this same layer, I'm going to create my other orbs here. So let's put one right here. I'll put one floating up there. Maybe another one touching right there. There. And I'll make a little bit bigger one. That's right there. And then I don't have to redo this. All I need to do is come over here to the effects I've made on this layer. Right click on where the effects are. Come down to copy layer style. Then click on layer 12. Right click on it. And go down to paste layer style. And there's my orb. So a little bit too much glow for the smaller one, so I will need to come in there and adjust it a little bit, that outer glow. So I need to bring the size down. It's too much size for those. And let's see, maybe the size for the drop shadow as well. And the distance. There we go. And we'll lower the opacity a little bit. Increase the size again. Bring down the spread. Increase it. So you kind of have to play around with spread and size until you get the right effect. And I think I'll take out inner glow for those. Okay. And we'll hit OK. All right. So there we are. I believe that's all. Oh no, wait. We'll go ahead and we'll do another one. One last thing for this checkpoint. So I could select all of these, put them in a group, spheres. Now I need to select. I'm going to select all of these. And I'm actually going to, and then hit Command T because I want this to be a little bit smaller. Hold your Alt or Option button right about there. Bring him up. Hit OK. Now, right on top of my background gradient, I'm going to create an elliptical ellipse. Get my ellipses selection tool and just create an ellipse like so down here. Fill it with black. Move it. We're going to create a little, the little shadow here at the bottom for right now too. So do that, and then come up to your filter, blur, gallery, Gaussian blur. We're going to give it a blur. About right there, and then we'll lower the opacity of the layer itself until we get a good shadow going on down there. And then you can use your up and down keys to kind of position it. I think maybe 50%. All right, so that's looking good. The next video, we will, I think I'll finish the grooves out, and then we'll go over how to do that halo effect of the text, as well as the step and repeat grid in the background. And then also the final camera raw. So if I come up here on this one I've already done and I turn off that camera raw, you can see the camera raw adds a lot of features and strength to the details to it. So that camera raw is pretty important as well, as usual. Okay, that's it for this checkpoint.